The City manager Kevin Keegan says he has every confidence in his goalkeeper, who was dropped by England after his lapse allowed Austria to draw their opening World Cup qualifier 2-2. Claudio Reyna returned from international duty with the United States too late to train yesterday, but Reyna does play and Manchester City are unchanged. This is the team that defeated Charlton Athletic 4-0 on the 28th of August. Everton have gone 3 games without defeat, and manager David Moyes continues with a team that drew 0-0 at Manchester United, even though influential Danish international midfielder Thomas Gravesen is fit again after recovering from a calf injury. Gravesen sits on the bench along with Gary Naismith, who's recovered from an injury while playing for Scotland on Wednesday. Steve Bennett is our referee. Well, Everton have profited handsomely from their dealings with Manchester United in the past couple of weeks. First a goalless draw at Old Trafford, then the transfer of Wayne Rooney, a move that could end up with Everton claiming a whopping £27 million profit on the sale. But history suggests that Manchester City are unlikely to be such generous hosts, because they've won 5 of the last 6 Premiership encounters between the two teams, either here or at Main Road. Everton were embarrassed in a 5-1 defeat on the last day of last season, a defeat that apparently incensed manager David Moyes. He promised that there would be changes. There is the Everton manager, who today is in charge for the 100th time in a competitive fixture since making the switch from Preston North End. Gary Birtles is alongside me, and he's seen Everton play already this season, saw them successful against newly promoted Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. How will they cope without Wayne Rooney?
I think they'll cope very well. I think we'll see them galvanised. The strikers that come in now will have a chance to prove a point, and it was time for Wayne Rooney to go from this football club. It was a good move for him, and I think David Moyes will be quite delighted the way the season started for Everton.
Here's Watson. Now Hibbert. And as far as Pistone. Some bright passing there from Everton. And they have the first corner kick. Ball deflecting out there off Danny Mills, who is in his first season with Manchester City, having joined them from Leeds United on loan at Middlesbrough, of course, last season. Stubbs has made his way forward. And Stubbs was the intended target then, but Distan got there first. Carsley, having taken the corner on the left-hand side for Everton, has now come across to take this next one on the right. Everton giving David James plenty to think about early on. Carsley's corner was a poor one. Carsley again, picked out by Osman. It's down again to clear.
Well, it's good early pressure from Everton. You thought it might be the other way around with the way Everton have lined up this afternoon. Clearly buoyed by the result at Old Trafford. Leaving one up front.
Stubbs and Weir together there. Now they've been joined by Cahill and Kilban. Bent on the goal line, almost in front of David James, and Steve Bennett, the referee, is having words with Danny Mills there, who has something of a reputation for antagonising opponents. In by Carsley eventually. Away by Dunn, who had 5 seasons with Everton. Here's Bent. Now Pistone. Plenty of pace on that pass, which was intended for Marcus Bent, who had perhaps switched off then. Kenwright on the right, watching intently the Everton chairman. He survived a vote of confidence at an emergency general meeting at Goodison Park on Thursday evening. Here's Anelka and Fowler. Everton scramble the ball away, but only as far as Wright Phillips. Anelka again. Fowler joined in the penalty area now by Sinclair. Decent opportunity that for Manchester City.
Well, a good first opportunity, and when Anelka gets in positions like that with his pace, you know you've got trouble. Speed's past there, and you expect Fowler to do better than that. He's done everything right. Little nudge may be there, but he rides his luck, gets past with his pace, and puts a lovely little ball across. Any touch, it's 1-0. And Robbie Fowler, of old, you expect scores that.
Just that was in there. First four-sided goal for Manchester City. Robbie Fowler will enjoy the opportunity of playing against Everton, formerly with Liverpool, of course. Managed 4 goals in various Merseyside derbies, but squandering a good opportunity early on for Manchester City. On by Kilban. Here's Cahill. Again stepping in to get the ball away from Bent, and he was caught there by Cahill, who's the first to offer a hand of apology. Steve Bennett, the referee, actually sent off 9 players in the Premiership last season, including Sean Wright Phillips, after he scored 2 goals for Manchester City in a 6-2 success over Bolton Wanderers.
And let's hope he keeps his red cards in his pockets this afternoon.
Sinclair winning the aerial battle there with Watson.
Over the international week, we've seen a few harsh decisions being taken by certain referees. The Robbie Savage one for one instance. You don't like to see players getting sent off willy-nilly, and you like to see a bit of common sense from referees.
Well, Everton had the rather dubious distinction of having the first player in the Premiership sent off this season. Gary Naismith at Crystal Palace for a senseless second yellow card. Richard Dunn also dismissed for Manchester City in the game that they lost against Liverpool 2-1. Dunn, the Republic of Ireland international, who joined Manchester City in the year 2000. It's towards Kilban. Mills just did enough.
Certainly looks a totally different Everton outfit to the one at Crystal Palace. There's just so much more belief out there that they can come here and win a game.
What a difference a result can make. Pistone with a throw. It's the same technique that they're using to try and pick out Kilban on the goal line. And Cabal then just making the point perhaps that he was being leaned on by Danny Mills.
It is a long throw, but you've got to utilise it better than that. 2 have gone out now, and I would like to see Marcus Bent maybe in there rather than Kilban. And this is the problem with a long throw when you haven't got Kevin Campbell or you haven't got Duncan Ferguson on the side.
And it has to be accurate. Cahill. Now Pistone. Cahill once more. Wright Phillips. Now Anelka. Sinclair has made a positive forward run, as has Anelka. Sinclair! Fabulous opportunity. Twice now Manchester City have been able to get in around the left-hand side of this Everton defence.
Well, it should have been a goal again, shouldn't it? Great interplay between Wright Phillips and Anelka again. Comes to Sinclair, he's leaning backwards. Anelka's moved on there, he's made the pass, gone for the return, looked up, pulled it back, and that should have been at least hitting the target, making the keeper work. He's leant back and squandered another great opportunity.
Trevor Sinclair did score in the win over Charlton Athletic here. He's 49 in the Premiership, 49 goals. He would perhaps think that that should have been his 50th. Osman. Now Carsley. Osman again. And now Watson. Good save, James. Not once but twice. Great recovery by the England goalkeeper. And magnificent distribution too to pick out Sean Wright Phillips, whose first touch let him down.
Well, if that doesn't give him any confidence, nothing will. That's a terrific first touch for him.
chant is England's #1 from the Manchester City supporters. They'll give him a rousing reception. Anelka, Sinclair ahead of him, has his foul. Here is Robbie Fowler. Rayner to the near post, and he got there. He's claiming the corner kick, but it will be a goal kick.
Well, David James, much pilloried for his Austria blunder, but here he keeps his team in it. A lovely threaded ball through there, good strike and great strong hand there, and again he's aware for the second one. Lovely little ball threaded through, great strike and a big strong hand from David James, just what he needs, and the follow-up to get his confidence back.
Mills now. Cleverly done by Wright Phillips and Mills. It's a corner kick.
Does well there, gets in a forward position available for Sean Wright Phillips. Again carries on his run, doesn't stop, allows Wright Phillips to slot him in.
Just almost on the penalty spot. Thatcher has made his way forward. Barton's been bypassed, it's Wright Phillips, and it's Cahill over the top of his own crossbar.
Well, an intelligent corner here from Nicholas Anelka. Everybody thinks it's going to go in the middle of the area. Sean Wright Phillips lurking there, side foots it, and a slice there at the last minute. Practiced on the training ground, tries to keep it down and on target, does that, and a slice, a fortunate slice over the bar.
Cahill again watchful. Bent. Osman. Turn pass was played the wrong side of Marcus Bent, who's strong and purposeful and who's got the decision here against Richard Dunn.
People say Richard Dunn's, a little bit slow, but I'm not so sure sometimes. Every time I've seen him, he's deceptive.
He is very quick. In a couple of seasons ago, of course, he was in trouble with Kevin Keegan, who demanded that he lost £10, told him to slim up a little bit. Carsley over the ball. Everton with a line of 5 on the edge of that Manchester City penalty area. James out to claim, doesn't get there, and Bent is denied. It was a wonderful reaction save. But David James, I'm sure they're intended to come out and catch that. Twice now, Everton frustrated by the man the Manchester City supporters are still calling England's #1.
Well, he couldn't have done much more in this game so far to keep his team in it. The ball was pure quality from Carsley. Great attack at the far post. He could do a great deal more there, Bent. That's a terrific save from David James.
Bent was being held by Distal.
Leading the line very well at the moment, Bent.
Manchester City have played the neater football perhaps in this first half, but Everton have had the 2 clear-cut chances. Steve Watson and Marcus Bent, both denied by David James. And by Carsley. Bent. It was a good run. Flag stayed down, he was onside and he wasn't picked up.
Carsley is delivering quality from set pieces.
It's a massive clearance by James. Here's Anelka. Weir took his eye off the ball. Anelka didn't. Thatcher. Desmond did well then.
And we see David James again. This is pure quality in there. The keeper couldn't come out there because he's away from him, but he atones well there. He stands his ground, he keeps his concentration. tries to come there, realises he can't get it, and the reaction there, big strong hand again. He couldn't do much more, Marcus Bent, put it in the net, of course.
An instinctive save. It remains goalless at the City of Manchester Stadium. Everton return to Goodison on Sunday of next week. They've got a fixture against Middlesbrough. Then we're in League Cup action at Bristol City. That could be a tough one for them. Here's Rain. It's a decent cross towards Wright Phillips. And Rayner might get a second chance. Sinclair! Carsley with the block. Here's Thatcher. And Elkera. And Wright Phillips! Straight at Martin.
Well, he's proving difficult to pick up, Sean Wright Phillips. Not used to seeing him this far in field. He's usually hugging that touchline.
Significant now that David Moyes, the Everton manager, has come right to the edge of his technical area. He had been sitting down for 5 minutes, but now he wants to pass on some further instructions. And then again towards Sinclair. And once more he's beaten Hibbert in the air. Here's Anelka. Out by Pistone. Only as far as Barton. Whistle had already gone.
And rightly so, the whistle had gone. The referee got that right. Little push there by Rayner, although he pleaded his innocence.
And a hectic week for Claudio Reyna, on duty for the United States in World Cup qualifying fixtures against El Salvador and Panama. Only returned to Manchester early yesterday morning, and he was prepared to train at Manchester City, but Kevin Keegan said, no, rest, go home, play tomorrow. It can't be easy for players when they come back from international weeks like this to try and pick up the momentum which they perhaps enjoyed a fortnight ago.
Oh, without doubt, you've got to be very focused, 100% sure that you can do it, and if you've got any doubt in your mind, you have to tell your manager, because of a couple of difficult games, the time difference in flying from one place to another, then you have to go and put on a performance for 90 minutes.
Tim Cahill, another who builds up the air miles when he's on duty with Australia, although the Australians perhaps sensibly decide to have training camps in London every so often. In by Carsley. Bent has been bypassed, and it's Cahill's header, or it wasn't quite his header.
Well, it's only a matter of time from set pieces that Carsley is taking. You think Everton are going to score, because again, the other side this time, great quality, great attack again, and he just couldn't get a touch on it. But where is the marking? Quality top draw again, attacked very well, just got up a little bit too early, but the marking's nowhere to be seen.
Watson again well forward. Here's Cahill, two to pick out inside the penalty area. One of them is Osman. It's Osman, and James again to the rescue with help from Distan. Hibbert, and it's Sinclair out quickly.
Well, the big man's a hero again. Too easy here for Everton to get in behind. Lovely back heel there. Cahill reads it. Intelligent look up. Great little ball. You've got to say Osman has to score there. David James has made himself big. It's another good save from the England keeper, but I've got to say Osman's got to hit the target and score there.
Well, has he rewritten tomorrow morning's headlines?
Certainty.
Carsley with a corner kick. Cahill with the header. Here's Weir. Rayner and Manchester City collectively can take a deep breath.
His focus is superb at the moment, James. Intelligent ball from Cahill, not the best first touch, has another one there, allows David James the chance to block it he does very well.
What a difference a week makes.
You talk about the goal, I mean, yes it was a blunder and he knows that, but the England defence were backing off, allowing a shot. It's not about the goalkeeper, it's about defenders as well.
Now Everton are backing off. Cross was in behind Fowler. Osman sure-footed. He's bent. He's hit it. So we're in the final minute of the first half. We're to have one extra minute as well. Is there still time for Manchester City or Everton to get the opening goal? Sinclair. Barton and Carsley together. Well, they both went in for that with a huge amount of commitment. And it looks as though Lee Carsley has come off second best. What will Steve Bennett, the referee's reaction, be?
Well, I gasped there when I saw that one. They both earned 100% commitment, eye on the ball, both went in. I think honestly there, I don't think there was any intent from both of them. Players will react to that because they can see their mate down injured, but I think honesty was the key there from both players. They both flew in 100% committed.
Steve Bennett just making sure that Lee Carsley is in a position to get back to his feet. I'm not too sure if he was the aggressor there to a degree, because Barton is trying to make the point that he went for the ball and he took the ball. Steve Bennett has now spoken to Joey Barton. Now he wants words with Lee Carsley.
See, the reaction of the other players can sometimes influence the referee, and I think that's wrong. If Joey Barton's livid there, he's got a yellow card saying that he went for the ball.
Well, now Steve Bennett, having had words with Joey Barton, is bringing him over yet again. I think there Barton actually got away with the ticking off. Carsley is certainly going to be booked, and he's being told to cut it out. It's a yellow card for each. Now I think that Barton there was cautioned for something he said. I don't think he was shown a yellow card rather initially for the challenge.
Well, he seemed to go away from the referee with the understanding that he'd been booked, and I think that's why he was annoyed with the situation. I think the referee should have said, OK, it's a committed tackle from both players, you know, a bit of warning if he thought there was anything untoward there, but he's going to book them both. Well, not surprised there.
And Everton have the free kick.
So if Everton have got a free kick for that, why has Carsley been booked?
Cahill there certainly led with his arm, and it was retribution for Joey Barton, and Tim Cahill here could be in big trouble. What will the colour of the card be?
I think it's got to be yellow here, surely. I think what Barton may have made a little bit of a meal of that running past there. I may be wrong, I hope I am.
Well, suddenly, in the final minute of the first half, we have some sparks. It's yellow for Tim Cahill there.
He's caught him, but it's not one of those you jog with your arm there. He's flicked it over. There is a little bit of retribution. He knows it's him. He's just tried to get in front of him, get himself across his body, and he's just caught him when he went past. Yellow, but no red.
So a flurry of yellow cards. Three in the space of a minute. The 3 yellow cards, no goals as yet, but that's purely due to David James, the Manchester City goalkeeper, roundly criticised for his performance for England in Austria last weekend. But as far as Manchester City supporters, David James is England's #1, and he's proved that in this first half. 3 wonderful saves from Steve Watson, Marcus Bent and Leon Osman. Steve Bennett, the centre of attention just before the break, when he issued 3 yellow cards. At half-time then at the City of Manchester Stadium, it's Manchester City 0, Everton 0. Goalless at half-time, but these two teams have shared 29 goals when they've met in fixtures in the Premiership in Manchester. That's an average of 4 a game. Only David James has stood between Everton and a goal in this one. There he's helped out by Richard Dunn. Real test of character this for James, so roundly condemned for his slip while on duty for England against Austria in the World Cup qualifying last weekend. Cost him his place in the fixture against Poland on Wednesday. But he has come back magnificently.
He has been the difference between his team being down to being on level terms. It is a certainty. I'm not sure if David Moyes is pleased as I thought he would be at half-time with the 0-0 coming here. He probably feels his team should be in front, but he sent them out fully 3 minutes before Manchester City came out for the second half.
Well, maybe he just said more of the same, please, boys. Anelka there was straying offside.
Yeah, I think the linesman got it right there. The Man City fans around us shouting no he wasn't, but clearly his pace got him beyond too early.
3 goals already this season for Nicolas Anelka, who has scored 6 in his last 7 games against Everton. Whether they be for Liverpool, Arsenal or Manchester City. Manchester City plus 5-1 winners here on the final day of last season against Everton. Anelka getting 2 of those goals. Phillips also on target in that fixture. And he was being wrestled there by Pistone, who is cautioned.
And he knows he deserved that. That's what you want to see from Sean Wright-Phillips. Getting the ball wide, running at people, making them commit. And he does exactly this here. Skips away from 2 challengers, and Pistone's no option to bring him down. It's the first time we've seen Sean Wright-Phillips do that in the match.
Pistone, the 3rd Everton name in the referee's notebook. Thatcher has gone forward. Played short by Rayner and by Wright-Phillips. And here's Fowler. Anelka. Distan. Sinclair. Hasley just did enough, but worrying moments there inside the Everton defence. Rayner. Hasley determined. So too Rayner. Thatcher is under that. And here's Fowler. Sinclair. And Anelka. Denied by Stubbs. Rayner has a go. Appeals for handball. Nothing doing. Manchester City just beginning to assert themselves here at the start of the second half. Rayner. Everton were out early for the start of the second half. Maybe Kevin Keegan had a few choice words to say to his team. Whatever they were, they've had an effect. Stubbs' clearance. Helped on by Pistone to Cahill.
Well, there may have been shouts for a penalty here, but I can't see anything wrong with it at all. He kept his arm down there, Pistone. Kicked straight against him, couldn't get out of the way, not a hand raised. Good decision.
In by Bart. Fowler. It's not quite happening for Robbie Fowler just at the moment.
He does that so well, Robbie Fowler. Bad defending, maybe for the first time, backing off, allowing the cross to come in. He just gets half a yard on his man. Just couldn't get it below the crossbar. Attacked it well, just got that half a yard that makes all the difference.
Scored on the opening day when Manchester City drew 1-1 with Fulham.
What a great goal that was. The privilege of being here to watch that.
Tantalisingly, he's now got 198 career goals. He's just like a batsman, I suppose, on 99. The magical 200 mark now not far away. Thomas Gravesen all set to come on here for Everton. Most impressive when they won 3-1 at Crystal Palace.
Well, he ran the show, Thomas Gravesen, at Crystal Palace. Scored a couple of crackers, and no surprise he's on there with his experience to help out.
Leon Osman is the player who's gone off here for Everton. Carsley. Now Hibbert. Out by Distan. Bent. In by Hibbert, driven in by Hibbert, and Cahill has given Everton the lead. Tim Cahill's first goal for Everton on only his second appearance in the Premiership. Delightfully worked that by Everton, and Cahill has his reward.
Well, it's a great build-up again here. Gravesen involved there. Ball played into Bent, who's very, very strong. Holds it up well, times the pass well. Hibbert, a wonderful ball in there, and it just leaves him a great chance to score.
And the cheers have turned to frowns, and Tim Cahill has been ordered off for his celebration. Issued with a yellow card at the end of the first half, and now dismissed for a second yellow card. David Moyes, his team are ahead, but now the manager has an awful lot to think about. He can't believe it, Tim Cahill can't believe it.
I was just about to say exactly the same. David Moyes cannot believe that, neither can I. Oh, you're not allowed to celebrate a goal anymore. You know, we all got to be robotic and just walk back to the centre circle. This is where the lack of common sense from the referee comes in. We said we hope he doesn't produce a red card, and he has, for something pathetic for me.
Cahill cautioned right at the end of the first half. Now Everton down to 10 men. Kilban taking out his frustration, and now Kilban is going to be cautioned. You can understand his frustration, because Everton are both bemused and annoyed that Tim Cahill has been dismissed for celebrating their opening goal.
Is it all about referees making names for themselves, or am I mistaken? I mean, the way he called Kilban to him in there, you know, sort of Sergeant Majorish, if you like.
No booking there for Kevin Kilban. Well, last season in the Premiership, 9 dismissals in the Premiership by Steve Bennett. Tim Cahill has now been added to the list. Second time this season that Everton have been reduced to 10 men. Gary Naismith was dismissed at Crystal Palace, where they won 3-1. Here they lead 1-0. If they emerge with 3 points, they'll have to do it the hard way once more. Away by Stubbs. Here's Pistone. Wright Phillips. Neatly done by Wright Phillips. Ball is hanging up for Thatcher. We now have a Manchester City substitution. John Macken is coming on here. He replaces Robbie Fowler. David Moyes knows all about John Macken, who played for him at Preston. Now here is the celebration.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that celebration? He scored a goal away from home, he's delighted, and all of a sudden the referee's got it upon him to come over. Well, maybe tick him off if you think he's done a little bit wrong, but to get a red card out.
Here's Bent. Carsley arriving inside the penalty area. Watson. Now Kilban. Thatcher missed that, Hibbert won't. And Bent. Everton now with a player down. It's Thomas Gravison, who's only just come on as a substitute here, having just recovered from a calf injury.
He's just got in bravely here, tried to poke the ball back, and he's just got caught by short Wright Phillips there.
Well, David James was the centre of attention in the first half, having made 3 splendid saves. Now the questions will be asked of Steve Bennett, the referee. David Moyes there, the Everton manager, is bemused. Tim Cahill sent off for his second yellow card for his celebration. I always thought that if the player took his shirt off...
What is wrong with this? He's not taking it off, he's just putting it over his head. He's done nothing else, he's just being mobbed by his teammates. And then this referee, I don't know who he thinks he is, obviously it's all about him, comes across and he sends him off, and they cannot believe it. Cahill's done nothing wrong. That man has done something wrong. He'll get the game done away with.
Steve Bennett trying to explain his decision. The fourth official, Neil Barry, on the near side, gestured to David Moyes, suggesting that the shirt would be taken over Cahill's head, but he didn't take it completely off.
You've got to have every sympathy with David Moyes. His team have put in a great performance here. They've been hard to break down, they've got a goal, and all of a sudden the referee spoils it all by, in my words, a pathetic display of refereeing to send him off.
On by Weir. Done with Bent. So now a change of approach by Manchester City, with John Macken having come on as a substitute. He's up front alongside Nicholas Anelka. Well, Cahill now has been told to make his way to the dressing room. Neil Barry, the fourth official, making the point that he's not allowed to stay and watch. So he's missing Nicholas Anelka. It's a great run by Anelka. Stubbs sliding in. Carsley to complete the clearance. In again by Anelka. Out by Carsley. Thatcher. Bart. Hammered to safety by the skipper, Alan Stubbs. Anywhere will do just now.
I just wonder if this referee, had it been Alan Shearer who had done that, or a Man United player, a Liverpool, anything, would he have sent them off? I'm not sure he would.
It did seem a very, very harsh decision. Rainer. Wright Phillips has some room. Out by Weir. Barton up with Gravison. Wright Phillips. Caban back to help out Pistone. In the end, it's Pistone who helps Caban out. Mills. Easy for Martin.
Well, initially Mills getting in there, causing a problem. But, the final ball wasn't the desired quality.
Benton still prepared to run and run. It wasn't easy for Marcus Bent when Everton had 11 out there. It'll be tougher still now that they're reduced to 10 men. Instead of 5 across the middle, they've got 4 across the middle. Another disappointing cross. Martin again untroubled. Pitch for a handball there by Dunn. Carsden. Just spun away to Rain. If you were David Moyes now, Gary, what would you be saying to your team? He's all set and seems to make another substitution at some stage.
Well, he's going to have to get fresher legs out there, but he must be absolutely dumbfounded by what he's seen out there. Just tell them to do exactly what they've been doing for all this game, defending very well as a unit.
And by Wright Phillips. Much too long.
Here's the referee. I mean, what is wrong with celebrating a goal anymore? And he's just dumbfounded, Cahill, to realise that he's been sent off. What have I been sent off for, he's saying? What's going on? He can't have sent me off. This clown cannot have sent me off, surely.
Well, he was delighted initially, having given Everton the lead.
And didn't he give the lead well? A great ball in there. He's attacked it well. No picking up. James couldn't come off his line. But all of a sudden, it's been taken away from him by the referee.
Reina. Sobieski. Well, already he's given Nigel Martin something to think about.
There's a different set of problems. Sobieski looks in there, they back off, takes it very early. Martin sees it early, using all his experience to get down low.
Sobieski, who started the first 3 games of the season Manchester City played, he was missing because he was injured against Charlton Athletic. He's on the ball at the moment. And he's done well now to pick out Sean Wright Phillips. Spun away from Castoni, and Manchester City have the corner kick. Done on the edge of the Everton penalty area. Mackin just ahead of Nigel Martin, the goalkeeper. This time is Bart. And again by Distan. Martin decides to punch clear, and Watson has gone down hurt.
His own goalkeeper caught him in the back there. At least he was committed to coming out and punching there, Nigel Martin. Sees it early, comes out, concentration good, double punch, just catches his own man there. The defenders like to see the keeper come and be dominant again.
Inside the last 15 minutes, can Everton hang on to this lead? Tim Cahill with his first goal in the Premiership. Those cheers and those celebrations soon cut short by Steve Bennett, the referee, decided to issue a second yellow card to Cahill for his celebration. Everton reduced to 10 men, for the second time this season. Dunn with an opportunity to get well forward. It's Dunn's cross.
Manchester City are to get something out of this game. They have to get ball out to Sean Wright Phillips as much as they can. 3 times, second half, we've seen him cause the havoc we know he can cause.
Sun Ji-ai with the throw. Sobieski up. Once more, it's comfortable for Nigel Martin. Carson. Everton to pick out Hibbert. Everton happy to play keep ball. Watson again. Steve Watson. And that could have been awkward for David James. Good positioning again by the England goalkeeper.
Did very well, Watson. Good possession player, good little 1-2, and Watson just jinks it, sees David James off his line, tries to chip him, but he's a big lad to chip. If Crystal Palace matches anything to go by, when Everton were down to 10 men, they played better with 10 men against Palace than they did when they'd got 11 on. So, you know, they're used to this situation. They don't like it, but they know what it's all about.
Gary Naismith, who was sent off the second yellow card at Selhurst Park, where Everton won 3-1. Thomas Gravison scored 2 of their goals. Oh, Pistone! Martin did well, he was hurt, but he had to be brave then. He's back on his feet. But if the ball is delivered into the penalty area, he will be in no position to collect it. Mills. Pistone does get his foot to the ball, and it's eased out for a corner kick. Distan and Dunn both forward. Sibierski ready to make a move. Bart. Steve Watson now being spoken to by Steve Bennett. Manchester City want to get on with the game. They want to try and get some momentum going. He knows that his team's performance has been disappointing. And against 10 men, they haven't been able to make much of the possession that they've had since Cahill was sent off. Long towards Sibierski. Went out off Pistone.
He just goes that threat in situations like that. Sibierski, long ball to the far post, attacks it well, gets in between the 2 defenders, just gets a slight touch to give them a corner.
It's a crowded Everton penalty area. Carsley's clearance. Sunjia. Oh, it was too long for Martin. And just too long for Sibierski. Jousted him behind the Everton back line then.
He is very good at that, attacking at the far post. Nigel Martin seemed to be aware of what was round him. He won't be very happy with this though. What is Pistone thinking about here? Encourages the tackle there, nearly gets his keeper injured.
Roma got there ahead of Gravison. Wright Phillips. Sunjia. Turn Pistone inside and out. And Martin was stretching. Everton have got away with it yet again. They've been put under an awful lot of pressure by Manchester City, making the most of that extra man advantage, but still no clear-cut opportunities. Inside the final 5 minutes, Everton ahead with that goal from Tim Cahill. Sent off seconds later for his celebration, second yellow card. Away by Weir, only as far as Sunjia. Mackin. Now Anelka. And behind Sibierski, it's Distan. Well, the shot was flying. He seemed to have too much time then almost.
Fabulous build-up play here. Mackin does well here, turns, gets it caught in his feet, but then sees the run of Anelka. Time to perfection, pulls it back, but everybody's gone in too early. It comes for Distan, and he's probably the one you don't want to be striking that. Does ever so well. Where's everybody gone? All in flat, comes to Distan, and he's leaning back.
Gravison. Edison has done so well there to win not only some extra time for Everton, but also a throw-in.
That's experience for you. He knows he's got to wind that clock down. He was encouraging the tackle, it didn't come, but he got the throw-in.
Ferguson. Here's Rain. Now done. Anelka wants it hit long. But that is it. Everton have held on. It's their third win of the season. It's their best start for 15 years. David Moyes will be delighted by the workmanlike way in which his team performed. But Steve Bennett, the centre of controversy in the second half. Tim Cahill had given Everton the lead, but then Mr. Bennett decided to send him off for a second yellow card for Cahill's celebration. Cahill will argue that he didn't take the shirt completely off his head, but Mr. Bennett thought that he did enough. It was harsh on David James, who did so well for Manchester City in the first half, responded to his critics with 3 magnificent saves, but take nothing away from Everton, who defended well when they were reduced to 10 men, and who've been rewarded with another success. At the City of Manchester Stadium then, at full time, it's finished Manchester City 0, Everton 1.
Today they can walk out with their chest out and their head up, and they deserved it. They deserved the victory. They made enough chances in the first half. They defended exceedingly well in the second half, which earned them the good fortune when they needed it.
Now, the only blot, of course, Tim Cahill's dismissal immediately after he scored the goal for a second yellow card. I think everybody in the ground probably thought it was so harsh and undeserved.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm not quite sure of the rules. They come out with new rules every year. I thought it was if you removed your jersey, you were sent off. So I'll stand corrected if that isn't the case. He put it over his head, sort of i.e. Rabanelli style, and I think he said that he scored quite a few last season. That's what he done. I know that the rules have changed, so I'm pleased that he got his goal, but really disappointed that you lose a player for such a soft decision. And really, I think they must have been laughing at it.
Tim, I'm sure all sorts of emotions went through your mind in the space of 30 seconds during the second half. A goal and then a sending off.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose the best thing I can take from it was obviously scoring a goal, but after such a day like this, getting sent off, I just didn't want to let my teammates down, and obviously they did a job for me. So it's something that's happened, and I've got to forget about it and just concentrate on the next game.
What's your interpretation of the rule then?
For myself, every time I scored last year with Millwall, I always used to put my shirt over my head, and if so, I took my shirt off and celebrated. But it's one of them things where I'm probably going to have to go home tonight and ask the gaffer for a rule book and sit down and read it. But it's just unlucky. I suppose the rest got a job to do, and so do I. And I'm a professional and I can deal with it. And the main thing is getting the 3